Hex Line is a serialized transmission. If you've reached us for the first time, disconnect and begin with episode 1. Some signals can only be traced from their point of origin.
Cait? Cait? Why is the door wide open? Cait! Oh. Middle of the floor, maybe not the ideal place to throw your bag. Cait? Cait? What is going on?
Sam? Sam!
Morris.
The static just went cold. What is happening in there? Something is pulling at the frequency from your side.
The circuit's been manually overridden. I didn't leave it like this last night. Doors open when I got here. Tripped over Kate's bag on the way in, but I can't find her.
Hell's bells!
Why would someone... Oh, shit. I can't believe I didn't put this together sooner. Lately, Kate's been asking about the line's limits, but not normal theoretical questions. They were very specific. I think she was trying to reverse the trace and force an outgoing call.
The line operates like a handshake. It can only give that which it receives. It requires 2 biological anchors to close the current and stabilize the connection. 2 people to lock the timeline. If you're in there alone, ungrounded, you are holding a live wire. A single ballast on the line becomes an electromagnet, a mirror. This is the gravity of 1. The current stops pulling from the static and starts drawing from your own sequence. Time folds. The timeline tears. Get out of there until you can close the circuit, Sam. Go!
It's after midnight. The veil is thin. I'm your host, Sam Halen, clocking in for the night shift on the Hex Line.
Hello, you've reached the Hex Line, an after-hours paranormal dispatch line. Operators are standing by.
Lizzie Borden. Every family hath its stories, but ours had warnings in the
In 1832, a young woman named Hannah Borden made her way to the site of an old gasworks building on Hartwell Ave in Fall River, Massachusetts. She was on her way to collect sand needed to sharpen her knives. when the earth coughed up something she didn't expect. As the sand parted ways from the peak of the mound and spilled down the sides, it revealed something long hidden, a human skull. Not only a human skull, an entire skeleton fixed eternally in the sitting position. The bones were adorned with a brass breastplate, a belt of brass tubes, and strapped with a quiver of arrows. The discovery sparked speculation as to its origin, both because of its proximity to glyph-covered Dighton rock and because of the armor it bore. Whether the bones belonged to a Viking, a colonist, or a Native American chief, the mystery remains unsolved today after the Great Fall River Fire in 1928 devastated the downtown area and with it, stores of priceless historical records. Was the misfortune just a passing shadow over Fall River, or had the ground finally given way to something sinister laying dormant? If you asked Hannah, or anyone in the fortuitous Borden family back then, there would be no doubt that shadow lingered within their family. However, none of them could have predicted the series of horrific events that would cement the Borden family name in infamy. We all know the story of Lizzie Borden, and no doubt she was the most famous of the family. But she wasn't the first of her surname to reap the ills of the land in Fall River. The story I'm telling you today is an abridged version of not only Lizzie and the Borden family, but the land that cursed them. In 1848, 16 years after the discovery of the skeleton, Lodwick Borden, Lizzie's grandfather, lived in Fall River in a home on Borden land only a dozen or so feet from the home Lizzie would grow up in. Lodwick was a carpenter by trade and frugal in all manner of things, except for women. That was an appetite he could hardly afford, and yet he married 4 times. His second wife was named Eliza Darling Borden, and they shared 3 children, Holder, Maria, and Eliza Ann. After her 3rd child, Eliza fell victim to a particularly relentless bout of postpartum depression. While not much is known of their lives, history remembers the unspeakable horror of their deaths. Eliza, in a manic fit, is remembered for having drug Holder and Eliza Ann down to the basement, where she threw them into a deep cistern tank used for household water storage. It's unclear if Maria survived the drowning or had been spared altogether, but she would be the only one to make it out alive. The historical accounts differ here on what happened next, but they all agree on one thing. Eliza Darling took her life shortly after the drownings. It's worth noting that historical accounts of what happened are largely comprised of lore, family records, or that which could be found in old newspaper archives. But 2 schools of thought have survived and are widely agreed upon. As Eliza lay bleeding out on the floor of her home, the sun poured through the paned windows and gilded the floors, setting one final time on Borden land. Sure, the sun still technically, physically rises and sets there every day today. But that day, any warmth that came with it died screaming in the shadows. And those shadows found permanence. Call it a villain origin story, I guess, because ultimately that's what it is. Let's call the Borden land in Fall River what it really is too. The main character in the Borden story, a place still regarded as one of the most haunted on Earth. In 1860, in the same place, on July 19th of that year, Lizzie Andrew Borden was born to mother, Sarah, and father, Andrew being the son of Lodwick. Like their relatives before them, the Bordens were wealthy and well-regarded within their community. Andrew had amassed his wealth through investments in property, casket manufacturing, and banking, but no amount of fortune could insulate the family from tragedy. When Lizzie was only 3, her mother Sarah died of illness, leaving her and her older sister Emma to grow up in a world a lot colder than Sarah intended. Fortunately, Lizzie and Emma were quickly embraced by the community, a community who nurtured the girls and fostered their faith. As they grew older, though, the house grew quieter, unwelcoming even. Despite their father's wealth, Andrew insisted the family live with extreme frugality, refusing to modernize the family home with those oh-so-pesky modern-day conveniences, such as indoor plumbing or electricity. Though Andrew's wealth would be valued at over $10 million today, the Borden's Greek Revival-style Victorian home was widely considered solidly middle-class at best. Lizzie and Emma were ashamed of their home, and they rarely invited guests over. A few years after Sarah's death, Andrew remarried to a woman named Abby, but that relationship failed to replace that which the girls had lost, and it grew contentious early on. Instead of a mother, the girls saw Abby as a cold stranger in their home, a stranger in it for money and not for love. By 1892, Andrew began to display early signs of dementia. This fueled the financial tensions in the home, so slowly, the woman began jockeying for financial control. The more Andrew's mental state declined, the greater Lizzie and Emma's resentment of Abby grew. They were then convinced that Abby was secretly attempting to divert the Borden family wealth to her own relatives. Later that same summer, everyone in the home suddenly came down with an illness. The illness caused spells of nausea and vomiting. Probably just spoiled leftovers, they thought. That was, after all, a common result of the family's extreme frugality. But Abby was alarmed. She visited a doctor, convinced someone was trying to poison her. But she was never able to prove it. As tensions heightened and paranoia spread, everyone became a suspect. Eventually, someone confided in Abby, telling her that they'd witnessed Lizzie purchase prussic acid in town, and that happened around the time the family fell ill. But a close friend of Lizzie proffered her own account of what happened, claiming Lizzie had confided in her recently that Lizzie was sensing danger in her home. On August 3rd, 1892, Lizzie's uncle arrived at the Borden house for an overnight visit. Uncle John had been a constant fixture in the Borden girls' lives since their mother, his sister, passed away. He was also in business with Andrew, so his visits were not that unusual. For some reason, though, this one was. Perhaps the land had suffered the family long enough, or maybe tensions swelled so much that release was the only option available. Whatever the reason, the following day would go from unusual to nightmarish with the swing of an axe that would go down in history. On August 4th, 1892, at around 11 a.m., a neighbor named Adelaide Churchill witnessed the Borden's maid, Bridget, shuffle quickly from the doctor's home across the street to the Borden home. Adelaide described Bridget as appearing ghost-white and expressionless. Adelaide darted from window to window to catch a better view of what was going on. When she reached her kitchen, she saw Lizzie waving her over as she shouted, "Oh, Miss Churchill, do come over. Someone has killed Father." Investigators on the scene believed that Abby Borden was attacked first in the guest bedroom upstairs. She was struck repeatedly with an object famously thought to be an axe or something similar in weight and purpose. Next, the axe came for Andrew, who was slain as he lay upon the living room sofa, his face savagely split from top to chin. In the aftermath of the murders, witnesses came forward to help piece together the incident as the Borden family were pressed for alibis and information. Bridget had been seen washing windows outside the home when the murders occurred, so she was cleared. Uncle John's alibi was unusually detailed, and Emma's was solid. She'd been away at the beach in nearby Fairhaven for the day, so suspicion quickly centered on Lizzie, who was believed to be the only person in the house at the time of the murders. According to Lizzie, she'd briefly gone into town to run a few errands that day, but she was home in the moments before the murders. Without a witness or a verifiable alibi, Lizzie was dubbed the murderess, and despite only circumstantial evidence supporting her guilt, she was arrested and jailed for 9 months before standing trial for the murder of Abby and her father Andrew in 1893. Unsurprisingly, this story went national. A religious and unsuspecting daughter of high society named the prime suspect in an axe murder? It's a good hook. At trial, the prosecution highlighted their claim that Lizzie had both motive and opportunity. They emphasized her resentment towards her stepmother, the financial tension, and their belief that Andrew's frugality, which led to the family living well below their means, was more than motive for a young, affluent daughter. The defense countered, arguing a lack of physical evidence and a flawed timeline. Andrew was seen alive between 10:40 and 10:45 that morning by both neighbors and the maid, but he was found freshly slain on the sitting room couch around 11:05. It was a major contrast to the state Abby was found in upstairs. While Andrew's blood was fresh, thin, vibrant, Abby's was dark and coagulated, suggesting she'd been dead for at least an hour before Andrew was attacked. The defense proffered that had Lizzie been the murderer, both murders would have had to occur within a narrow window, and Abby's death occurred at least an hour before that window opened. They further argued that no one saw blood on Lizzie in the minutes following Andrew's death. There were no signs that she had washed or changed her clothes, no signs she'd washed her hands, no murder dress discovered. Most persuasive, though, was the claim that no weapon could be conclusively linked to her. The defense closed with a powerful question of fact for the jury. How is it possible that Lizzie could have committed 2 brutal murders, disposed of evidence, and cleaned herself up within such a short window of time, only to then seek help for the murder of her beloved father? At conclusion of trial, the community was left feeling split, confused, and uneasy. And after only 90 minutes of deliberation, the court was called back into session for the verdict. Not guilty. Sparse cheers erupted in support of Lizzie, but were quickly drowned out by the majority, who loudly scorned her. That spectacle of public judgment and condemnation followed Lizzie for the rest of her life. After the acquittal, Lizzie inherited her father's estate and moved into a mansion with her sister. There, she lived quietly until her death in 1927. The mystery, well, all of the Borden mysteries, are still unsolved. Was it bad luck, bad blood, or something else driving the Bordens mad? Today, we have only limited archival data to help interpret the details of what happened. But the ghosts of the horrible events still haunt the Borden homestead today. Like Lizzie's infamy, they remain trapped by an enduring rhyme.
Lizzie Borden took an axe, gave her mother 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41.
Hex Line is now closed. Please hold for casual hex.
Hello, and welcome to Casual Hex, the live discussion segment that delivers you right back into reality. Not another Lizzie Borden episode, you scream quietly into the void. Fear not. I am hyper aware that there really is no shortage of podcasts, movies, shows, whatever about the Lizzie Borden and the Borden family legacy in the world. Lesser known Borden family legacy. But rest assured, Hex Line has a moral code, a creative compass. And the North Star of that is to never cover a story that's oversaturated in the space unless I can add something to the conversation that you cannot find in an online search. I really strive to use 80% print and physical media where I can. Of course, a lot of physical media is out of date and doesn't contain a lot of the newer addendums or information or updated research. Like everyone, I of course use the internet to supplement my stories, but I like holding a book in my hand. I like going to the library. So if I don't have anything else to say, I'm not going to say it. I'm not reinventing the wheel by telling stories on a podcast, but I am trying to add value in a meaningful way where I can. And for me, that's trying to go beyond what I can find online and dig deep into the history as written at the time. I can't do that with Lizzie. But I can give you something else. You're familiar with the Lizzie Borden story. You probably knew before pressing play today that the Borden house turned bed and breakfast is thought to be haunted. What you don't know, and what you may not have heard, is a firsthand account of what it's like to work in one of the most haunted homes in America. So, Cait Hurley is back again today, and she's going to tell you.
There is so much out there in the world about the Lizzie Borden case, about the murders, but what isn't available is firsthand accounts from people who have worked on the property. And surprise, bitch, it's me. I worked at the property, and I had absolutely unhinged, unexplainable, quite literally, I'm not exaggerating, life-changing, paranormal adjacent, paranormal, I'm just going to say that they were paranormal experiences. Even though I'm a skeptic, I cannot explain what I experienced at that home. It's almost like I'm embarrassed to tell these stories because I know how unhinged they sound. I feel like I'm going to tell you these stories and you're going to look at me and I think in your head you're going to say, are there some meds you should be taking?
I want to comfort you here, but as you know, this is not a safe space.
I never thought it would happen to me, that cliche moment that people describe when you walk into a haunted place and you just feel like the air is heavy, it feels thick, you're moving through mud or something.
Oh, I know that feeling. It just feels
that
hot, your chest is kind of tight.
It's like the air is buzzing.
Yeah.
The air is really heavy. I felt that from the moment I walked into that home, and it was really hard to be there full time. Just the air alone, just the energy, the aura, whatever you want to call it, of the home was so much to bear, not even including the paranormal things that happened to me. How was that my life? First of all, working at a haunted house as a job, kind of sick, not going to lie.
The Lizzie Borden house, it's more than just a haunted house.
Sam and I both have a lot of lore. I think the Lizzie Borden house part of my lore is probably the most interesting.
I can't believe I didn't know that about you before.
And it was really random. I can't say too much because there is drama. There's always drama at the Lizzie Borden house these days. But essentially, I got hired there to create content and just kind of was like a general creative person there, like a social media manager. So that was my absolute dream job. Cool. Okay, I get to wake up every day and go make TikToks and Instagram posts in a haunted house. But I did not last very long there, A, because of the drama, but B, when I started working there was when the ownership switched over. Logistically, like any time a historic famous home is switching ownership, there's gonna be stuff going on.
Yeah, like the Conjuring house issue, that's just up the road.
Yes, like and there's a ton of drama with
nuts.
that too.
Yeah, that is fucking crazy.
The paranormal community is very, very small. There's a lot of drama. It's very intertwined. So that's why I am gonna be a little bit careful. I'm allowed to tell my stories.
Say boo.
Boo, I know. Oh, well, people, all I'm gonna say is people love to threaten you with lawyers in this community.
Good news.
So this is juicy.
Good news.
What's the good news?
I'm a lawyer.
Oh, there it is.
I got you.
No, but this is actually one of the reasons why I feel I want the people to know, like, this is juicy tea. Okay, so I have some notes here because so much happened, but I could talk all day because I was there for a few months and literally every single day something happened, but I'm going to share like the biggest, craziest events that went down. So I'm actually going to give you a choice. These little mini experiences all have a name. So one is called The Missing Pills, the Toys, and the Voice That Spoke Back. One is just called Grabbed. One's called Demon Photo. Another one is called Girl, What Did He Do? And then there's miscellaneous. So pick which one you want to hear first.
Cut the preamble. Let's get into it. Start
So,
from the top. I want to
I'm
hear
gonna
like
start
your
from the
first
top.
experience.
So the first time I was alone in the house, it was, so just to kind of set up, we would have tours coming in throughout the day, but there would be hours in between them. So in between the tours, I would be wandering around the house. There's obviously staff there. I wasn't the only person in the home.
Were you like doing videos in the different rooms? And
Yep, like taking videos of things and then just doing various video cataloging, filming everything.
Okay.
And so I was alone in the living room where Andrew Borden was killed. So where that famous couch is.
The sitting room.
The sitting room, whatever you want to call it. It's a big room. It's a big old house. I'm alone in the middle of this room. There's nothing near me. I'm alone in a big open space. I felt something come up behind me and like cup my ears. Like as if someone was behind me and put their hands over both of my ears, and my face turned like bright, like sweating hot, burning hot. And I literally skedaddled out. I ran out back into the gift shop, which is the barn.
Did it feel cold?
No, it felt like someone came behind me and just like boxed my ears.
Okay, weird.
And then I turned around and obviously nobody was there.
Yeah.
Because I was alone. And in my head, I'm like, oh, could I have bumped into... Obviously, bumping into something is not going to feel that way. But I'm alone.
The suction hand to ear with
like
that
the
pop.
suction of hands.
Yeah.
It was so disturbing. So I run out of the main house into the gift shop, which is the barn, like I said, and that's where my office was. That area was still pretty spooky, but it was not as spooky as the main house. And this woman who's worked there forever, she's born and raised in the area. She was awesome. She starts laughing. She's this older woman. And she's like, oh, Andrew's saying hi to you.
Girl,
I'm like, what do you mean?
don't act so casual.
But, you know, she's been there, done that. So she actually whipped out these dowsing rods and she starts communicating with Andrew or whatever.
Just like old buds.
Yeah, exactly. And
Was this, I mean, obviously her reaction was pretty casual. So had she experienced things before that she'd shared with you, or was this pretty fucking normal for her?
Very normal to her. I will get to that. But
Okay.
she basically started to have this conversation through the dowsing rods. I'm like about to cry. And she essentially just said, you need to let them know when you're going to be in there and when you're leaving. So from that day on.
Clock in with the ghosts.
Yes. Every single time I opened the door to the property, I said, hi, it's just me. It's Cait. I'm coming in. I would say what my intentions were.
Yeah.
And then I started, and it's funny because the staff they're all doing this.
No one thought to let you know that?
No, because it was
Perfect.
new ownership and he had just taken over
Okay.
and he
Okay.
didn't live in the building and he's not even local. So that's what I mean. There was this turnover happening where the previous people who were more involved in the house, they were clearly like more local, more
Okay,
involved.
that's like the Conjuring house. Well, the folks that owned it lived in the home and then they sold it to that lady out of Boston. Things got really weird. There was a really
did
big
get weird.
disconnect
I
between
know
the
people
property.
who have worked there who have also worked at the Lizzie Borden house. There's a lot of stuff going down. But yeah, no, the new ownership company was not based out of Massachusetts.
Okay.
So only the old school, the OG people who had worked there.
Kind of frustrating that they would set, like, this is a major Massachusetts landmark to
Don't
just
even
sell
go down that.
the historical rights to even be able to represent that to somebody out of state doing it for money. That's so disingenuous.
Don't even get started. But yeah, honestly, because this says Lizzie Borden House, they're probably going to listen because they think that they tried to trademark the name Lizzie Borden or something like that. There was a trademark battle happening with them and a coffee shop next door.
Okay. I mean, how do you just come in and claim the rights to something like that?
A human who existed?
Respect what it is in the community, respect the lore and the story that we all grew up with as New Englanders.
Yeah.
You know, just to come in and say, like, I own this, I get to control it. It's like, you don't even go here.
She doesn't even go here. So this woman, going back to this, told me I had to let them know I was coming in every time and to state my intentions. And when I did do that, I did feel more welcome in the building. The energy felt more welcoming. And then I would always say, okay, I'm leaving. Goodbye. Sometimes I'd even say, goodbye, Andrew. Goodbye, Happy.
Total freak.
But that's what people were doing. And then, so speaking of that employee, a couple days later, I know it must have been because I was down doing laundry in the super haunted basement. It is the most cursed basement ever. There's a face, a mystery ghost face that's engraved in the wall above the cistern where supposedly Eliza Borden drowned her children. There is an evil face. It's there. You can see it. There's
I
pictures
don't like
of
the
it.
evil face, but
Like, it's like, you know,
also
what I mean?
I thought I read that she drowned her family in the basement of her house.
That's where it's unclear.
Yeah, obviously the same property.
Same
but
property.
it's
It could be the same cistern, and there was construction.
Here's what I was reading, again, everything comes from newspaper clippings, family papers. Andrew built his home next to his father's home. That's where he would have lived with Eliza in their home right next door. So I think that might have been the one where, I don't know when Andrew's house was built.
Exactly. Like, this is like nitty gritty stuff.
So I love the
I know you do.
pieces
I know
together.
you do. But for all intents and purposes,
both had wells in a basement.
they claim that this is the cistern that evil stuff went down, and there is an evil face imprinted on the wall.
I mean,
so
let's also consider that if these two homes are built within the same plot, it's likely that they might have even used the same cistern well.
there
down
was
there.
a historical society person who came in to kind of train us on. I was not a tour guide, but I needed to know,
of course,
the tour stuff for like creating content, and in case I ever needed to fill in for someone. They told me that either it was at one point the same property, like the same home, or some stories say she ran to next door to the Lizzie's house and drowned them in her cistern. It's going to get really scary. This part actually still freaks me out. So in the basement, doing
cisterns
laundry,
in general freak me out.
Yes.
Like, what do you like? Rats dying in them, and like they're just open pools of water.
Yeah. So I'm down in the basement because...
Sorry, can I... one more question.
Yes.
The cistern, obviously not still in use,
Yes.
but what does it look like?
It just looks like it's like a big... looks like a well inside a house.
Okay.
It's just
Like,
like
does
a
it-
big drop.
Okay.
It's just a cistern. I don't know. And also they started making little rooms in the basement. So they put like...
Why? Why?
I can't get into it because I'm going to get in trouble. But so people were staying down there as well. But so...
What kind of trouble?
Legal trouble.
For what?
There's
Speaking
just, like,
about...
I don't know. There's just certain like logistical things that I signed like NDAs and stuff.
Oh.
And I haven't been a part of this for so long that anything that has to do with the business operations, I feel like I am not good to share.
Sure.
But so I'm like trying to get to this because it's so scary.
Well, I'm trying to paint the picture here.
So we're in the spooky, it's just like a spooky New England basement,
Okay, so, like-
unfinished, stone, spider webs, cistern. And the same worker who was like, oh, Andrew, leave her alone, basically, was like, hey, you want to see this picture? She's so nonchalant. Do you want to see this picture I just took last night?
No.
She shows me this picture. She's in the basement, total selfie, giant, terrifying, solid black mass of a shadow, like a solid mass behind her. She just taking a selfie because she's like, I felt something behind me. And it was just like a solid man-sized shaped mass. And she had like an old Android. So it's not like this fancy, there's a scary fucking shadow behind you. Okay, miss, you're just casually going about your day. Like, oh, I feel something behind me. Click.
Doesn't even scoot.
Oh.
She's just like, let me grab this.
Well, she's been there forever. Later that night, we do like nighttime ghost tours or whatever. There was a guest who, I was not downstairs for this. I heard the screaming. I was upstairs. But so you know what a spirit box is?
Yes.
So for those listening who don't know, it's when people are trying to communicate with a ghost or like a spirit or whatever through this radio tool that kind of flips through different radio frequencies, and supposedly whatever words come through are being manipulated by a spirit, and that's how they are able to harness that energy and have a conversation with you. So it'll sound like, this is...
I think they're such bullshit.
I actually no, because we're gonna get into them. I've had some really, really, really crazy experiences with those too in the house.
I'm willing to try it. I have
seen
so many videos and they seem like such a joke.
They can be, but once you lock in and get in a flow state with the spirits, shit's going down. But so they were doing that. Like, so we'd have different groups in the ghost tours, and we'd all be like around, we'd be sharing a couple spirit boxes, and the spirit box started growling at this woman, like a random guest of the tour, started growling at her, saying her name. Then she backed away from the group a little bit and her hair started to go like be like it's lifted. You know, in a horror movie, when someone's hair is being lifted up by an invisible force or static.
Oh, I really.
Then she threw up.
Actually,
she threw up.
Oh my God!
And left crying. And that was in the same area where that picture was.
So I'm just imagining.
I'm shuddering.
That
I was upstairs. I was so scared.
Just witnessing
a young woman
hair slowly begin to stand up from root to tip,
and it was growling her name. It was so scary.
I don't love that. And then throwing up. People throw up from fear. That's explainable.
No, exactly. I'm trying to explain all of these things.
The hair standing on from root to tip is the visual. That's pretty freaky. Like it was like a section of her hair that just went like this.
Like some static. They said it was like a balloon. When you rub your hair with a balloon and like your hair starts to stick up a little bit.
Love that.
But that was super fucked. I have no other word. Pardon my French, but fucked up. I stayed away from the basement. I felt like it was so evil down. And this is what I mean. Like, I'm a skeptic. I could not be in the basement.
Also a skeptic. But if I'm looking for it, I'm not going to find it. But when in retrospect, thinking of places that I've been, there have been feelings that in the moment, I don't know, identifying them, I wouldn't even have thought to. But like you leave a space and you feel almost a relief. So I think I understand what you mean when you say that felt evil. There were rooms in there's a room in my mom's house that I hate to go into. There's just a weird feeling. It's just strange and I'm uncomfortable and I get this urgent feeling, this like panicky, it's my old bedroom. Yes. So I stay there whenever I go home. And that hallway leading into my bedroom, I am not afraid of the dark, but I refuse to close the door and I leave all the lights on in the hallway and the air feels like it doesn't move and it just, something's off. You feel it.
Yeah.
I don't feel it in the moment, but when I think about what it felt like, the feelings feel a lot more clear.
The theater that I work at and I grew up performing at is super, super haunted. And there were a couple moments, but it doesn't feel evil or dark the way it did in the Lizzie Borden house. Just comparing to, historic haunted places, my theater was you feel like you're being watched and you feel like there's a presence. Sometimes people have described some scary stuff at the theater, which I never experienced, but I do know the difference between I'm having like some sort of paranormal ghosty experience and it's not negative versus bitch, you're in fucking danger.
I completely agree.
And this is how that felt. So my next tale is the night that I ended up having to run a ghost tour because somebody called out. And I was not a ghost tour leader, but I am
you are
a performer. I am a performer and I live for the stage. So they were like, do you want to maybe run this ghost tour? I was like, oh, I've been ready.
You're like, hi, I'm
already leading
the main character.
I was like, I'm already here. Like, let's go.
I was hoping you'd ask.
So this is my longest one.
Wait, I can just imagine you going in front of the people, like in front of the folks that worked there, doing mini performances to try to get that gig.
Yes, literally. I'm like,
look at this fireplace built in 1868 from original brick and the mantle from an oak Andrew chopped down in the back. They're like, Cait, what are you talking about?
Can you just go make an Instagram, please? I'm doing a tap dance. I was like, no, you don't have to ask me twice. They're like, do you think maybe you would cover I'm like, yes.
You're like, oh, you're giving me the part? Yes.
I'm like, wait, do I get a costume?
Yeah, I accept.
No, fully ready. Okay, let's go. So this night, so there's a lot of context needed for this. This is the longest one, like I said. And my ex was there for this. He's a witness to all this. And he is a full-on skeptic. Like all the stuff I'd come home and say, this place is so haunted. He'd be like, okay, whatever. Okay, honey, I'm glad you're having a good time.
That's because you're definitely not known to be dramatic at all.
Exactly. So he was there to witness this, and he was like almost in tears straight up. He was fucking terrified. So it started, had been working the day shift, and they're like, hey, can you stay later and cover this ghost tour? So there's this like in-between time where there's no guests.
Okay.
And this one guy checked in very, very early, and it was just me on the property and just him. So, I'm chatting with him. He's there by himself. It's a very small B&B. So there can't be that many people staying at any given time. I'm like trying to get to know him. He was seemed pretty normal. He asked me if anyone had been in the house, if there were any cleaners or anything working at that time. I said, no, why? What's up? And he said some of his stuff was missing. I'm like, you just checked in.
What do you
How
mean?
is your stuff missing already? So he actually had me file like a formal complaint because we have cameras. So he actually told me that somebody stole my pills.
Like, well, did you just leave? Did you check your car? You just got
No,
here.
exactly. So I was just like, I'm not worried about this right now. I've been in this office the entire
Sir, get out of my
time.
face.
I had to like put in a request to pull the security footage. And we ended up checking the cameras and not a soul entered his room or even like that floor he was staying on. And he insisted his medication was missing. So still at the time I was like, he probably misplaced it or he's just messing. Like I just like didn't.
He's like, fuck, that didn't work. I had to go do a slip and fall downstairs.
I was just like, okay, whatever. Forget it. We can't explain why our medication's missing. No one stole it. Let's go on with our lives. He's a guest, so all the guests are welcome to come do the ghost tours, like the night tours, because you know it's happening in the room you're staying in, basically. So later on during the spirit box session, we would take turns like asking the spirit box questions, and if you have something you want to say, or if you just want to hold back and witness the conversation, you can do whatever you want. Break off into little groups. So there's probably like 10 people. There's a ton of people, and this guy's asking the spirit box if anyone in here messed with him.
Oh my God, fuck this guy.
But also, I know he was kind of annoying, but
what a pest.
But it was like only me and this guy, and only me and this guy knew about the pills. So when the spirit box said yes, he said, "What did you do?" And the voice on the box said pills. Like the spirit box said, and like we were the only ones who knew what was going on.
Literal manipulative instigators, those ghosts.
Then it gets worse. So then I'm looking at him like, what the fuck is happening? What do you mean pills? Pills? what do you, okay. So then the guest, he's like going ham with the voice box. He's like getting all serious. What do you want us to do now? And then the
Which
spirit
is the bitch that set me up in the room with us right now.
No, literally, he's like, where are my fucking pills? Very Fall River. No, just kidding. Sorry.
No, very not just kidding.
Anyway, I love Fall River. That's not ironic. Like I do like Fall River.
And facts are still facts. Moving on.
I had the best medical experience at the hospital there. I really did. Okay, anyway. So,
Shut up. Who gives a shit?
So the guest asked the voice, "What do you want us to do?" And it said play. And then it said toy. This guy whips out.
This is like a sexy
No.
drug pest.
No. No, you're going to regret saying that because supposedly that floor he was staying on is haunted by the children who were drowned in the cistern.
I do regret saying that.
So this guy starts kind of like taking over the whole session. He's a man who knows what he wants. He's there to communicate with the other side.
He's there to catch you in the act via ghost box.
He's like, okay, what do you want us to do? And then the voice from the box, it was like, play, toy. And this man literally whips out a fucking fidget spinner. Like, sir.
That's fucking sick.
You have your fidget spinner, but you can't find your meds. Okay, anyway. So he whips out this fidget spinner. I'm just like, what is happening right now? And the voice, Sam, it literally said spin. It was going spin, spin, spin. I have video of this, but I don't own the video. I don't own the rights to the video. I had to turn it over. I don't have it.
Oh, that's such a bummer.
But like it was on video. It was saying spin.
I just want to see
spin.
this guy with a fidget spinner.
I might have some footage I can show you. Like
just
still, that was mine.
Oh yeah,
But-
takes it out.
No, literally, like, first of all, you just like came equipped to the haunted house with a
I
fidget.
honestly, that was I loved those days.
Just like, ding.
When all my adult friends had fidget spinners and no one was shy about it. No one pretended they didn't. Everyone had one.
Love
you could
a
get them at
fidget
gas
spinner.
stations. I haven't seen one in this since 2019.
There's all kinds of fidget spinners now. So anyway, it's saying spin a bunch, and we're in the dark, and we're like shining lights on it, and the voice box is like, it's like spin, spin, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Oh my God.
And then he puts it down, and it literally starts spinning on its fucking own. I'm about to lose my shit, and then this is actually going to get kind of dark and personal. Then, so we're having this like spirit box session. We're playing with the ghosts, apparently, that like stole the pills or messed with him. Later on that day, the spirit box is saying the name of someone who I knew who passed away. It's not a common name. Someone was like, oh my God, it keeps saying, I was in another room at this point, helping with another session. Mm-hmm. I go back to the fidget spinner guy, and he was saying like, oh, like, it keeps saying this name. Does anyone in that room have anyone in that name? And I was like, actually, I have someone of that name. we lost this person suddenly. They're very young. They're in their 20s. And we don't really know what happened. And the voice box kept repeating her name and then her cause of death. And then I started fucking crying. And then I was like, I gotta go. I left for the night. I was crying my whole way home. My ex was like, what the fuck was all of that?
Was he there the whole time?
Yes. He met me there for the night shift. So he was there because I didn't want to be alone on the property. It's not in the best neighborhood. And it's Lizzie Borden house. So people just kind of like pop in as they please. And I was completely alone. So I was like, can you just like come hang out in the shop with me until everything sets over for the night shift? And so he was there from the minute that guy was like, my pills are missing.
Get out of here, bozo.
Yeah. So that happened and it was fucking insane. And then I have one other kind of, not that long story, but it has to do with Eliza. I'm glad you covered her tale a little bit because everyone just knows about Lizzie. And I feel like the Eliza Borden tale is the more, it's all fucking tragic, obviously. But to me, that is so deeply tragic.
Something is off on that property, and there is a lingering darkness that is just seeding itself through every generation.
That's what I'm saying. So this was another day. Despite the trauma of my first ghost hunting session, I was assigned to do a couple more. So we're having a voice box session again. This was like a standard part of any ghost tour. We'd hand out the tools, the voice boxes. And so I'm sitting in a group of, it was like all women. It ended up being my group. People go over the history in advance. So I said, or somebody said, I want to try to contact Eliza Borden or her children. So for a little more context, I should have said this earlier. It is like really common knowledge in the home that the third floor is haunted by 2 children. And there's very childlike activity up there, like, harmless pranks.
Like lighthearted mischief.
The energy does feel lighter up there.
Okay.
And so people have historically left toys up out there, stuffed animals and balls and stuff, and the balls are like roll by themselves. And I've seen some like teddy bears look a little funny. I don't know. Hey, I thought I put this over here. And then you leave the room for a minute, you come back and it's like
not quite where you left it.
Exactly. But you're like, I can't really clock this properly, but something's off about this bear right now. But so people commonly want to try to communicate with and that's why I think the guy came in, he was like well-versed with the history of the haunting. And that's why he had the fidget spinner, or maybe he just had a fidget spinner. I can't let go of the fidget spinner.
Imagine
honestly.
being well-versed in the home and what it is and then being like, somebody stole my pills.
I know. I never knew what happened to his pills.
Nothing happened to his fucking pills.
And I don't know. It could have been like what were the pills?
I don't know. Maybe he should have taken one. You wouldn't have lost them.
So I'm with this group of girls and somebody was saying, I really want to contact the kids. So I had the bright fucking idea to be like, let's make this a feminist therapy session.
Oh my God.
So
I'd have been like, I'm fucking out of here.
You're like, I'm leaving. So I basically start kind of approaching the conversation like, we are here not just for the kids, but we're like, stop.
You sound like the fucking teacher from Beavis and Butthead. Hello, students.
I'm like trying to use my teacher voice. Hi, friends. You're not in trouble. We're not going to judge you. No, but I literally was like, yo, girl, Eliza, like, what really happened? There are some rumors that her husband had all of his wives like mysteriously die young. And
did not know that.
So there was, I forget, so don't quote me on this. I'm not a fucking historian, obviously. But there was rumors of like affairs. People were insinuating that it's possible that he actually killed her to go on and then marry his because he got remarried immediately. This is a long-winded rant. What I'm trying to say is someone who studied
Wait, does he
like
witness her kill the children? He was like, you're next?
No. They're saying that she didn't kill herself, that she was killed. That he like family annihilated.
Oh, so
and
they think it might have been him.
But they blamed it on her. They're like, she killed herself and the kids. But really,
Where
like
was Maria in all this? Her oldest daughter.
She was really little. She survives, but she was like 4 or 5. She was very, very young.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there was this like weird drama. Like some people don't even believe that she actually killed herself. So we were kind of approaching it from there. I wanted to ask the voice box. So that's where I feel crazy. I'm like, I was asking the radio what really happened. We were having a sleepover with this spirit, basically being like, girl, it's okay. Like you can talk. We're not judging you. Are you here? how can we help you?
Come on,
move
Eliza, it's just the girls.
So we start talking to her, and the voice on the box was like, affair. It literally said affair. I also had that on camera. And then I literally was like, was it another woman? Or was it this? And they would be like, yes. And then it would say, no. It was like going yes and no to us saying, was it another woman? Were you having an affair? Were you in love with someone else? We were just going back and forth, and it was going yes and no, yes and no. The voice box will start off chaotic, and then it'll lock in, and it will start to have a cohesive conversation with you. I stand by that. We're having a legitimate, cohesive conversation. It said affair, and it was kind of implying that she was in love with someone else. And then I literally said, so did you just feel like you had no other choice? And then it said, shut up. It literally yelled, shut up. And we were all like, ah, and we kind of freaked out. I have like goosebumps because it scared the shit out of me. I literally posted on Facebook that day, like, a ghost told me to shut up today. So I've reached a new level of fucking annoying. I'm so annoying that the spirits are like, please shut your fucking yapper. But anyway, it was crazy. So that's my top paranormal. Oh, and then I wanted to save this one for last because it was like a quick moment. I was asking the ghosts on one of my last days there, are you haunting this place? Is this house haunted? The voice box said ancient. And then it said portal.
Oh.
I don't like that.
No, I mean,
like, I like it, but I don't. It was.
I love it. I just
eerie.
want to. It's like I want to believe, you know.
But like,
I believe that happened.
The voice box.
I believe that happened. But I also, again, we got to talk about the voice box thing.
So here's the skeptic side of me coming in. I do believe that something's happening in that house, but the Lizzie Borden house, hundreds and hundreds of people are going into that home weekly, and they're thinking, Lizzie Borden, murder, Lizzie Borden did it, axes, everyone's dying, death, evil, this and that. Like, everyone going in and out of that house all day, every day. You're going to tell me that their mind sets and their energy is not going to be affecting the technology around us? Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean. Like an egregore. Like,
yes.
A collective group of people with one collective thought that are bringing this energy.
It's like creating its own deity.
Mm-hmm. It creates an independent, sentient entity.
That's what I really think.
Living thing.
I think it's a combination of things happening there on ancient land, and a lot of shit's happened in that area. You know, the skeleton armor, I think, is relevant. That story's not as crazy because it's just like, oh, a Borden person just unearthed this crazy skeleton and then it all burnt down.
It's like a domino effect if you believe that.
I think it is sort of like a portal area, or something is thin there. I can't explain it. It was so heavy, and I felt like I was bringing it home with me.
I think that cloud, I mean, people carry that with them. That's a pretty common experience of people who have lived through something paranormal like that or have spent time in a very dark place. It's like it infects your personality.
That's exactly. I loved the job because, you know, it was all the elements of my dream job, but I just couldn't. And a lot of, I'm not going to lie, a lot of weird, who do you think the clientele is?
Yeah.
A lot of weird, dark energied people would come, and I hate saying
and you
that.
know people are going in there and bringing their own tools and having their own little seances, and God knows what they're bringing into the home or in
exactly
leaving behind.
I met a lot of amazing people working there, but there would be people regularly coming in and just, you could tell they were just like dark energied people, and they would say, oh, I'm gonna summon. They wholeheartedly believed they were going there to summon the devil. People who wanted to do dark things, and people would like steal the autopsy photos and try. They were really obsessed with the death and the murder part of it.
Yeah.
Which I sound like a hypocrite because I'm like, I worked at a murder house. But that wasn't why I was there. Like, yes, am I fascinated by morbid things and the macabre? Of course. But I think on a healthy, respectful level, not on a, I'm going to harness all the dark energy of this place and try to summon demons.
Yeah.
First of all, do that on your own time. There's other guests here. I remember one night there was some woman there and she was clearly like very not well. And then there's nothing you can do or say to them. She's like, you need to come in my room right now. I opened a portal.
Like,
you need to see the portal that I opened.
Let's get you back to bed.
I'm like, oh fuck. Like, I can't deal with this.
Okay, let me ask you this. There are a lot of places that actually do offer due respect to the nature of the home, and they'll practice cleansing rituals every.
From what I can gather, it seems before new management, people were there very like harmoniously with the house. And then a non-local company comes in and it's more corporate. They own a lot of haunted
Spiritual
places.
upheaval.
Yeah. And a lot of people say that the energy there got kind of crazy because of this turn of events.
I would love to go. I'm not sensitive, so I can
thought I wasn't sensitive.
imagine these things. I just wonder what I would feel, because so rarely have I felt a spiritual presence. I have experienced it, but not in a overwhelmingly meaningful way. I hope to explore how to be open to that. Would love to see what I would feel, but I don't know. I don't know that I would be affected.
Yeah.
I would love to know what that feels like on a deeper level.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was life-changing in a way because I'm not the most religious person. I'm still spiritual, but like I always bring it back to, no, it's like, it's the human condition. It's the human mind is powerful, and it's this and that and dimensions and spiritual science realm.
Yeah, I'm very much the opposite. I'm not a spiritual person. Seeing is believing.
Yeah, exactly.
Show me something.
But I went into it thinking I care more about the science and the logic. And if science can explain this, great. And I got humbled real fucking fast.
I always feel so fucking goofy. Even when I went to Belcourt and they were doing all the readings, I looked at my husband and I was like, do you want to sit down and do a talking board? I never would touch one, but in that moment I was like, I think I would today. And then I just felt goofy. And not because I don't believe that. I think it's what you put into it is what you get out of it. I don't believe there is this portal that opens where spirits are coming through. I think it works if you think it works. Could it have the ability to work if you have the right intention? Sure. Well, who am I to say no? I'd like to see some shit.
At the end of the day, humans are all so desperate to know what is there, what else is there. And that's not to sound cheesy, but I do see that places like the Lizzie Borden house or the Conjuring house, they are going to draw all kinds of people because we all are fucking curious.
Let me just jump in here. Do you think Lizzie did it?
No.
Fuck no.
Everybody always asks me. I don't think she did it. I do, however, think either she was in on it or witnessed it and stayed quiet. I can't determine whether or not it was all this pre-planned thing and she was fully in on it and helped like the logistics of the murder, or if she got caught in the crossfire and just kept snitches get stitches, whatever. But I don't think she did it. Logically, it doesn't make sense. She got acquitted for a reason.
No, I completely agree.
As a lawyer, what do you think?
I need to know more. I would love to read the transcripts to understand more about what happened. There is also so much context missing that we haven't even talked about, so much that I don't even know.
Exactly.
I know there are so many characters in the story.
Whether or not she was in on it is up for debate. I think it was... Do you want to just hear my theory?
Before you offer it, I wonder if it would behoove us to maybe see if I can't reach out to Annette and get her take, get some more context on some of the players and the different theories out there. I know you know someone that...
Yes, my friend, she's well known for her studying of Lizzie Borden, and she advocates for reclaiming her innocence. She's done awesome work. She's amazing. I have chatted with her a little bit about this too.
There's a million podcasts about Lizzie, but if this interests anybody, I could do a part 2 to this. Some insider sources, more context on theories, what happened, what the big theories are, and do a whole think piece on it.
So many people are so convinced. They're like, no, she absolutely did it. And she's been so villainized. And then I learned so much about her, and I'm just like, why? Why is she so villainized?
It's so easy to villainize someone who is the subject of a rhyme you've heard since you were a little kid. You don't even question it, and I definitely didn't.
I think it would be fun to do a theories episode.
I think
I want
like
your
a couple
theories.
Of passages. Yeah, I'd have
as a lawyer, you just hard launched being a lawyer, so
I know, and I might unlaunch it. So
no, but then it'll be relevant to the theories.
It depends. My opinion is as valid as yours. I think I would just need to learn more. There is a lot, and obviously a lot of schools of thought.
The family doctor, he's a huge player in this.
Mm-hmm.
There's the maid, Bridget Sullivan. She was an Irish immigrant who came from nothing. I don't even think she could read. And after this case happened, she disappears for a while and then ends up on a ranch in Montana or Wyoming with a lot of money. And I'm like, as the descendant of Irish ancestors, I'm not saying that my people are not capable, but I'm just saying it seems like you're telling me this illiterate woman, housemaid, all of a sudden buys a ranch in Wyoming in the 1800s or Montana. I can't remember the exact details, but she ends up being found with a lot of money on a ranch. There's the uncle who, I'm just going to hard launch this now. I think he did it, but we don't need to go into my theories as to why, but he's very suspicious. Also, one of the reasons I think he did it, there was a viral YouTube video of somebody doing the voice box in the house, and they're asking Abby, like, who did it? And it says, it was John. And John's the name of the uncle. So I'm like, ghost, spectral evidence.
I don't know about the spirit box. I want to, like, it's the...
You want to believe.
I don't know that I even want to.
I have one. You know I keep that shit on me.
I just don't...
We're going to go somewhere and use it.
I'll do it anytime. But I've seen so many use... What are their names? There's like these two young lads that do... Sam and Colby.
Oh, yeah,
They have their YouTube channel. I don't know how much of it's genuine, but I watched the Conjuring House one, and they do a couple of different videos there. And it's good to the extent that it's great entertainment.
Yeah.
Is it real? I don't know. They always seem to be peddling some new ghost equipment, and they use a lot. It's just so over the top sometimes that I struggle to believe that that's real. And I've watched a lot of different videos just to try to see the range of what people are experiencing. And I don't know.
It's just so interesting. The only way I can explain my experience using them is it's like you're going back and forth with a lot of like nonsense. Then all of a sudden there'll be this moment where it's almost like you're reaching this like meditative state with this device. It'll go from blabbering nonsense, and then all of a sudden you're just like locked in having a conversation. I have used a spirit box so many freaking times and had these quote unquote unexplainable conversations with them. And they truly are unexplainable with the language that I have. And I'm not saying that they are ghosts, but I am just saying something happens.
It just feels like if you want to hear something, you will. If you're going to a pretty dark place and you're taking a spirit box and saying, like, asking questions, you're going to get answers that fit what you're looking for.
Oh, 100%. That's
Words
what
you're
I was
going to
saying.
make fit. Like
That,
death.
100%.
Well, yeah, death.
Do you know how many spirit boxes said like Lizzie? Okay, hundreds of people are coming in every single day being like Lizzie Borden, Lizzie Borden, Lizzie
Right.
Borden. Of course the spirit box is going to say Lizzie.
Mm-hmm.
Of course the radio frequency is going to be influenced by that. But like you said, it's like an egregore.
I just don't know enough about them, I guess. I mean, it's
just going back and forth between radio frequencies and like different words and phrases come through.
So what's different between a spirit box and a radio?
A spirit box is actually just like a radio transmitter that's rapidly flipping through transmissions. So it's rapidly flipping through stations.
Radios do that.
Yeah, but the spirit box, so it is a radio by all means. It's just flipping rapidly automatically.
You can do that by hitting a seek button.
Yeah, so you could make your own spirit box by doing that. Technically.
I have to learn more.
Yeah, no, like it's just anything can be a spirit box if you're messing with like it's like basically the point is you want to get to that point of like interference where most of it is static, and then that way the words or the conversation or whatever the spirit quote unquote is trying to tell you.
So then what
is
makes
coming
that
through clearly?
So analog radios and the way that they're transmitting frequencies, what makes that any different from, say, the downloadable apps on your phone that are like you can download spirit box apps? How are they different? I mean, other than, of course, like the analog nature of a radio. The apps seem like such a joke to me. So
I would never use the app.
So what makes it different from the spirit box itself if their function is the same?
Good question. I am not a
these are,
scientist.
Maybe, not a
Clearly.
stupid science bitch. Dead air.
I can't explain the science. I'm just thinking of Poltergeist, to see where she's in the static. And it's like, are these spirits able to exist because they come in and out through these like in between liminal digital spaces like static where nothing's there? The full signal is being projected, like a full radio signal or a full TV signal. And now with everything digital, it's like the signals are so precise. Maybe there's no room for this energy to like...
Tune in next week to hear two idiots talk about rocket science.
Tune in next week. Kate's going to take mushrooms for the first time and then try to explain how ghosts travel on radio frequencies.
You on mushrooms would be...
I'm only saying that because this morning I saw a video of two people on the beach taking mushrooms and they were just laying in the hot rocks. And I was thinking to myself, maybe I would try that because that looked so fun.
Why don't you just go lay on? You don't need mushrooms to go lay on hot
I know, that's what I'm
rocks.
saying. Like, why do you guys need drugs to be a lizard in the summer?
Well, to be fair, when I've taken a drug in the past, my intention was never to be a lizard.
Yeah, so
Just to be clear, I'm not a drug person. I'm not a drug person.
I'm literally the dare dog.
I'm too uptight, if we're being completely
I've
honest.
never even been drunk.
That's
My doctor
fucking
they're
weird.
like, any alcohol? And I'm like, no. And they're like, none.
I'd have been like, are we counting beers?
I probably should drink. I would be way more chill. I'm going to receive the radio signals from the ghosts. I'm on a hot rock, like, come to me.
Why not there, though? Why not there? Why wouldn't the ghosts, like, why? I would imagine they're more likely to find you in a place like that than in a graveyard.
I don't think ghosts are like conscious spirits making choices.
I just find it crazy that we can put people in space, but there's been no groundbreaking research or study that has helped us better explain paranormal experiences.
Or even dreams.
I don't think dreams are prophetic in the way that other
I
people
have
do.
prophetic dreams, Sam.
Oh, you fucking would. Hex Line was created, written, and produced by me, Sam Halen. Original music and mastering by Bill Shaner. Cast members featured in this episode include me as alternate reality Sam and Kevin Darbro as Morris Miller. Thanks to Cait Hurley for her story about what it was like to work in the Lizzie Borden home. If you have a story you want featured on the podcast, email me at hexlinepodcast@gmail.com. Also, go ahead and follow us on Instagram at Hexline Podcast for visual episode companions, announcements, and if you're feeling it, go ahead and give us a follow, rate us, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks again for listening. I kind of without words. It's super cool that you guys continue to tune in. And I got a lot of stuff in the works, so hang tight.